let's open the meeting because I don't want to keep people here longer than we have to. So the meeting, Tamika, we opened it, whatever, 7:02. Can we take a look at the minutes, folks? April 22nd minutes. Anybody have any issues with them? Okay, I only have one comment, and Tamika, you have accurately depicted what was said, but I would just like the group to take a look at what I'm going to talk about here. In the second paragraph, um, the second sentence, it says, adversely, Mike feels that HCH has not come forward with what they had promised and has expressed frustration with that, period. Then it says Mike also felt that the board backtracked on their requirement to having a second egress, blah, 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 blah. I would like to just insert HPDD review board in front of board. It's obvious to us who were there, but the first sentence we're talking about the review board, the second sentence we're talking about HCH, and then the third sentence we're back to the review board. So does anyone have any problem with that? Just adding HCH instead of, HPDD review in front of the review board?
Sounds good.
That's on the last sentence there.
No, the sentence that says
Mike also felt that the board backtracked.
on their requirement for second means. Yes, I'd like to just say HPDD review board. And again, I'm nitpicking, but when I first read it, it was seemed to me to be tied to HCH, and it shouldn't be, and it isn't. But
we should clarify it.
Yeah, that makes sense, Mike. I can make that change, no problem.
Okay. So any other thoughts, questions, concerns?
Make a motion to accept with correction.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we need a second.
I'm sorry?
We need a second.
Oh, I thought
I'll
Dick
second.
seconded. I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I think unanimous aye, Tamika.
This Tim, I just got one quick question through Mike. For some reason, I'm not getting the minutes. I got all the yeah.
You are kidding.
No, I got all the emails for the agenda, but I didn't get any minutes this time.
Tim, I'm going to tell you right now, you're wrong, because Tamika sends them out, and I promise you, you got them. You just don't know it.
Okay, what day did they go out? Because it could be me.
I sent them out on the email. I sent it on Monday, Tim, just reminding everybody about the meeting. I had attached the minutes and the agenda on that same email.
Okay, I see them. You did. I saw the agenda and I saw this virtual meeting, so I didn't know which was which. So let me see. Yep, you're right. It's definitely me. Thanks.
So Tim, did you get the minutes?
Yeah, I did. It's in that ODT.
I'm just teasing you, Tim.
Oh God, yeah, I'm slow.
Okay, very good. All right, the next item of business was an HCH update on the HPDD property. Unfortunately, I was hoping to have a resolution for this meeting, and that's why I even went to the point of adding an executive session portion to this meeting yesterday, because some things happened that I thought was going to allow us to bring this to conclusion. Unfortunately, it has not panned out the way I had hoped. So the best thing I can tell you is we are still in negotiation. What can I tell you beyond that? I expect perhaps final resolution of this tomorrow. Beyond that, I can't really say anything beyond that.
Mike, could we go to executive session and talk about it?
Yeah.
We can, but I don't believe that it's appropriate for us to be discussing the negotiations. Well, and I guess Dave, I'd ask for some help here, and maybe Tamika as well. While the negotiations are going on with the negotiating committee with HCH, I don't feel as though it's appropriate for me to be discussing them outside of the negotiating team meetings. Dave, do you have an opinion there?
Yeah, I seem to recall that while there's negotiations ongoing, since the RDIC appointed the negotiating body to negotiate with the Harbor Classic Homes, that those conversations will be between the negotiating team and Harbor Classic. Unfortunately, once there's a resolution, then that will be brought back to the RDIC.
And,
So unfortunately, I think, I agree with you, Mike, in this case, and that's probably the most conservative and safest way to handle this, so we don't have any potential issues.
And let me just say this to the group. I want to be perfectly clear that there is one, I'm not trying to keep anything from anybody. All I'm telling you is we were at a point yesterday that I was confident enough to schedule this executive session meeting last minute. Now, it did not, what I hoped would happen did not happen. So I'm now we're back in discussions with them again. So I truly think that probably tomorrow or maybe the day after at the latest, this will be resolved one way or the other. And at that point, I will schedule a meeting ASAP. I might even be willing to stick my neck out on the line and schedule a meeting right now for as soon as we can, do it a couple of days out. So, sometime early next week.
I have a question, and with what Dave said, and also pertaining to Mike.
Yep.
With us going, I don't see an issue going to executive session and talking about this, but I think we should. But what are the potential, I'd like to explain a little bit more, potential issues. Because I think we should know this has been going on a long time. I just think we should know what's going on.
I understand why you would like to know that, Franz, but it's, and if I were you, I would too. And I wish I could share it, but the negotiating, my understanding of the negotiating team's responsibility is to do all of the negotiations. When a final agreement has been reached, we then bring that back to this board and we then vote one way or the other. For me to, or for us, or me to share information that is in ongoing negotiations, it's just not appropriate.
Well, Mike, let me ask a general question then. Is the HCH Harbor Classic Homes, is the negotiations favorable, or is, I don't want to know details, but are they to the point where it's like lawyer discussions, or are we far apart? Or I guess I'm looking for a generalization.
No, I think I'm sorry. I just have
you know what? That's why executive session, we don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but there are things that we should know as a board, especially the length that's gone on, as far as just what Tim said. Are we way away? There's not a chance in hell, or,
Let me answer Tim's question. We are not way away. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying that I think tomorrow or the next day, this will be resolved.
Mike, all I'm trying to find out is if they're still in the game. I'm good with that.
Sorry, Tim, I missed what you said.
Oh, I was just trying to get a feeling that, are they still in the game, and it's minor details you guys are working out, then I'm okay with that. I want to get a feeling like we're getting to the light at the end of the tunnel. And
we're at the light. With the light is shining brightly. It's just a matter of final contract negotiations.
Okay, I'm good with that. That's what I was looking for. I want to get that warm, fuzzy feeling that we're almost there.
Yeah, I don't have any, at this moment, I have no fear that they're pulling out, or in fact, okay. I know that to be opposite of that.
Okay, that's all I was looking for. I didn't want the details. I get where you and Dave are talking from. I just wanted to get a warm and fuzzy that, we're there, because we thought we were there with the solar, and all of a sudden the grid throws a curveball and game over. So
yeah, no, I can tell you this. My negotiations have been pretty much 100% with Peter Campobasso, their attorney. I think he and I have established a very good rapport and an openness about what we're both trying to accomplish. I can only say it again. I feel very confident that with what day is today? Wednesday. I think by the end of the week, I believe this will be resolved.
Okay, good. That's all I was looking for.
And Franz, to your point, so that being said, let's just assume by the end of the week it'll be done. The attorneys have told me.
7 to 10 days,
I'm
right?
sorry?
You said the last meeting when we were at this point that you thought things were going, when we set up this meeting, you were saying with the attorneys after an agreement, attorneys 7 to 10 days, is that correct?
We should, that's the expectation, that we should get a purchase and sale agreement in front of us in 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
And then the other question, Mike, I was going to ask, and I know it was asked earlier and you didn't have the answer, but it has, since you guys are working on negotiations, and maybe this is part of the negotiation, is there a percentage that they have to put up with the purchase and sale?
There is a deposit. Tim, to be honest with you, I have not gone back and looked at the draft.
Okay, good enough.
The draft purchase and sale, and from memory, I thought they had to put 10% up. That's what was written in the draft purchase and sale.
We talked about that last meeting, and that was, you said the same thing. Yeah.
Right, but let me just say that our attorney has said to me, Mike, I would be very surprised if they were
It's
ever
not going to be
put up
10%.
10%.
Yeah.
No, Mike, this just goes along with Doug was saying, some skin in the game. Just want to make sure they still got skin in the game when they sign the purchase and sale.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions?
Yeah, the only other thing I had is
lots of questions, but
Yeah, I just wish we went to executive session to get a little bit more. We're not trying to blow this out of the water. Matter of fact, I don't want to see this work, but I just want to remind everyone on the board, and this is my opinion, I just think, the tax revenue of this is priority. And the money wise, I don't know. I just think this is a long time. I'm praying to God it goes through.
I'm just concerned that sounding so desperate in an open meeting does not help.
Not good.
Does not help us when we're negotiating. I think, we need to do what's right for the town, and we need to get the best deal we can get for this. But I think that worrying about like finalizing the budget for next year, right in the middle of negotiations, and worrying about worrying about all of that stuff, I don't think that that's really where our priority. Our priority needs to be to get the best deal for the town. And if it takes a couple extra weeks, it takes a couple extra weeks. That's just my opinion. But I think if we sound too desperate, they're going to, what's to stop them from coming back?
The discussion we're having right now should be an executive session. That's my point. These types of viewpoints should be expressed to Mike, who's representing this board. That's why we should be in executive session. We're not talking about details.
Okay, all right. Well, let's stop. Franz, you want to go into executive session? We'll go into executive.
No, I mean, just as we're expressing our thoughts now, that's why I said we should, but you don't want to do it, we don't want to do it. That's all.
I will yield to the group. If the group wants to go into an executive session, I've told you what I feel as though I can tell you.
I understand.
But let me finish, Franz. Either in executive session or out of it. You're not going to get anything different from me in executive session. If you want to go there, I'm a team player here. I want to keep everybody comfortable with what we're doing. So someone make a motion for us to go into executive session. We'll vote on it. And if we go, we go.
I don't think there's a need. We're not going to get any more information. So what's the sense?
Yeah, Mike, the only other thing that I wanted to bring up was my curiosity on the road issue. Has that gone any farther? Has anybody talked to Chief Buckley?
I have spoken in a fair amount of detail with Joe
Buckley.
DPW superintendent, shame on me.
Joe Buckley.
Joe Buckley, sorry. Sorry, Joe, if you're listening, I hope you're not. About the whole situation, he feels as though there is no issue there. His personal opinion, there's no issue there because it was a pre-existing road, blah, 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 blah. I explained to him my conversations with Jeff Lacy. He feels as though it would be appropriate to have Jeff proceed with that and get a document from DCR that says, yeah, we're good. And, you know, it's fairly short money, you know, the estimate was $200 to $2,500 to get that done. And the hope is that that could happen in 30 days. So I must confess to you, that's about the extent of the amount of effort I put into the roadway.
No.
I just can't even begin to tell you how much time I've spent in this negotiating.
No, the only thing I wanted to bring up, Mike, is I think we should, and this is my opinion for the board, is once we got I guess it's more of a question. Should we wait to a purchase and sale, or should we turn Jeff loose to get that started now?
That's, in my opinion, it should happen anyway because we need access to that portion of the property. So my opinion would be to, you know, we voted at a previous meeting to have Jeff do it, but I never kicked him off on it. I personally think we should.
So do I, and also I wanna know why the hell the berries are still up.
Why the what? Oh,
Berries are
yeah,
still up.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I must confess to you, I just got to Joe yesterday. I did leave him a number of messages, and we weren't able to connect. So when I was driving the other day, yesterday I pulled in and stopped and talked to him about it and asked him to move the barriers. And he said he would. Well, open the gate is really all we need to do, right? Open both gates is all we need to do.
Okay. Mike, do you, so it's just a time thing, because what I want to do, if we want to get Jeff started and we voted on him, just let's do a kickoff and get him rolling. Because
okay, I agree with that. Does everybody else agree with that?
Does the board need a motion? I mean, I'll make it.
We've already
Otherwise,
done it.
all right. So that's my
Mike,
opinion.
if I may, I just want to clarify, the vote that you guys took was to recommend that ACH hire Jeff Lacy as the consultant, but not specifically that the town was going to use him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd want to maybe make a separate motion. That's up to you guys.
I would agree with that, Tamika. We should make a separate motion. And you know, the game kind of changed at the HPDD review board when it became clear that that road should remain a Rutland public, you know, it should remain a Rutland roadway for access to the other properties. So yeah, I would agree, Tamika. We should make a motion to do that. So Tim, if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hire Jeff Lacy to initiate the DCR documentation that's needed by the town of Rutland.
Second.
Any discussion? Is it necessary, Tamika, to add to that on the HPDD roadway site?
Yeah, why don't we add it for good measure?
Okay, yeah, just to be, Mike, you got a good point, just to make sure it's clear.
It's just the thing I think about, Tim, is if someone who isn't in these meetings regularly reads them,
Yeah, you're right.
Look and say, okay, in the town of Rutland, what does that mean? So, okay, so with that motion, is there a second?
I did, I amended my second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
How much is it gonna cost to hire Jeff Lacy?
Estimated at $2,500.
Thank you.
You okay with that?
Mike, do you want me to put a not to exceed of 3,000 in the motion and then just, it's there?
That's a good idea.
Sure.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to hire Jeff Lacy with a not to exceed of $3,000 and then the rest of it added in.
All right, I'll make.
Sorry,
amend that second. Oh my God.
Franz, you okay with that?
Yeah, I would vote to wait. I mean, I would vote to wait, but
Wrap it up, get it done.
Well, let's just talk about it. Why should we wait?
well, I'd like to see this deal get done.
But I agree with you, but if
Wait, but excuse me for interrupting, but you just
Oh.
told me a few days. So why don't we wait a few days?
okay,
That's my
I'm fine
point.
with that.
Well, there's been a motion and second, so I think we'd still need to vote on it though, right?
We can vote on it.
well, there's a motion made and seconded, but we're now open for discussion, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I guess,
Fran,
My
I
point
don't
was-
have a problem with it, it being, waiting a couple days, because Mike and Dave's big push right now is to get the deal done. So to kick
Yeah.
it off with Lacey next week, I'm fine with that. But I just
That's
wanted to
my
make
point.
sure that Mike and if Dave helps, we got direction.
okay, I'm gonna make a suggestion. Let's approve the motion and I will commit to not having him start until we finalize the deal.
Good enough.
Is that okay with you, friends?
I don't even want to, I would say no, not, I mean, I might be nitpicking, but you've told us that we're a few days away, hopefully. So I just say, why don't we, our next meeting, when we get through the details, we vote for that. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not dead set against it. I'm just saying, I want to get the deal done, or we don't get it done.
Well, this isn't gonna affect whether the deal gets done or not.
No, I understand that. I understand.
The only reason I don't strongly disagree with you, Fran. In principle, I agree with you. The only reason I get concerned about it is when are we going to schedule our next meeting? We haven't even talked about that yet, but is it going to be next week? If it is, fine. If it's,
Well, let's do that instead of Lacey. I mean, that's all. I just think of priorities. I mean, that's
the
what we're
motion
here
we have on the table right now.
That's all.
So we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? And I guess the only thing is, again, will give you my commitment that I will not kick him loose until after the deal is done. So if that makes you feel any better. Obviously it doesn't, or you wouldn't be the way you are.
No, I just, priority wise, I just,
Okay. So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Williams, aye.
Henry, aye.
Susie, aye.
Bessie,
Narwhal, aye. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Bonnie. Narwhal, aye.
Steiner, no.
Sullivan, aye. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, so we're now back to, did we agree to not go in executive session? Did we resolve that issue?
No one made a motion.
Okay, so the executive session discussion is over. Okay, well, unless anybody has anything else to add, that's all I've got for tonight's meeting, and I kind of felt bad even having the hearing, but I thought it was important enough to at least try to keep you folks as apprised as I can.
Mike, I hate to be the guy who's talking all the time, but is there anything the HPDD needs direction on? I wanted to bring up at this meeting that Chris has talked to you about, or anybody else, that they need our direction to make sure there's no issues in the next HPDD meeting.
Not that it has been brought to my attention. My personal concern with the HPDD review board is I feel as though the board changed direction on the double barrel road being an acceptable access to the property. I mean, I know everybody agrees that a second means of egress is best and is important, but I thought it was made very clearly at a meeting a while back that the double barrel road was not a showstopper. I came away from the last meeting of that board with a different opinion. I believe
agree.
you guys
No, I
changed.
agree with you. And that was, and I'm sorry, Michelle, that was my frustration, is that I thought the RDIC had given clear direction, and then when I'm listening to the HPDD board, it seemed like that direction was disregarded, I guess is a blunt way to put it.
Sounds good to me, yes, disregard it.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Well, what did you say, Dick? I missed it.
I was talking as a planning board and I want that second egress, period.
Oh, I think it's clear we all want the second egress. If we can't get it, is the project dead?
Hell no. And they
Okay.
know it.
But that's,
And to your point, Mike, it's not, I don't think the RDI said they didn't want it. It just wasn't required. Otherwise, how do I put this? I got the impression that it was I don't want to use the word deal breaker, but it was a requirement for the design. And I thought we had given them direction that it would be nice and it'd be great for emergency, but it wasn't something that had to be a requirement for exiting the exiting the design. And maybe I'm paraphrasing.
But I think that's why we have the HPDD review board, right? To kind of take a look at all that stuff and see, I don't know what, that everything's gonna look right and be right.
Okay.
And I think even as a separate body, everyone agreed that, I think it was everyone, that the second egress was important.
oh, important. I think we all agree to that. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
is it
Well,
required?
important enough to be included in the final, important enough to be included from the get-go, that that it needs to be included.
So it's now a requirement, I guess, is what we're saying.
Yeah, that's my tough part, Mike. I agree that it should be.
It's fine. If that's what the board decides, it's fine. It's just, it's different than what originally.
Well, what happens when it goes to the planning board? We'll find out then. But I'm just saying, we're doing ahead of schedule for crying out loud, because as far as I'm concerned, if it comes to the planning board, the double barrel isn't gonna work. I don't mind it, but
Why does it work on major subdivisions, but not work on this?
if you saw Moose Crossing, there is a separate little dirt road part of it in case something happens, an accident right there at the front on 68 and Moose Crossing. There's another little dirt road that's supposed to be always open. Where are you going to put that up at the heights?
Well,
I mean, so planning board is altogether different than this board. So,
well, where's the second access at like Brunel East?
You can come out on Brittenell.
Well, you can now, but before you couldn't. That subdivision was built completely with a double barrel road that was, if I remember right, 12 or 1,400 feet long. Actually, you know what? We're kind of wasting our time talking about this, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I apologize. I got into
No,
the weeds.
it's fine. I believe that with little doubt that second means of egress, that road is going to become accessible, and that will become a second means of egress.
Yeah, it's a moot point to talk about it now.
Okay. Anybody, anything else? All right, let's talk about schedules for the next meeting. Dick and Tim and Dave.
I think Tamika's gonna be a big one too.
Well, I didn't get to her yet. I saved the best for last.
Okay.
Mike, Friday's going to be tough. I've got a job in Framingham.
I'm talking next week. So the earliest I see being able to do it is, let's just give me through the end of this week. We need to post for 48 hours, so I don't see us having a meeting before next Wednesday.
That's
Wednesday
fine.
or Thursday.
I'm sorry?
Wednesday or Thursday.
If we did Wednesday at 7, I can make that like today's meeting.
Yeah, later the better is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Wednesday at 7, is that okay?
Yeah, Wednesday at 7's good for me.
Dick?
all right, I'll give it a whirl.
Well, is there a better day or a better time?
Thursday. But that's all right. Minor details.
Well, if we change the time, does it make it better for you?
No,
Okay. Bonnie?
I'm just looking. Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay. Tamika?
I will double check the Zoom calendar to make sure that there's an opening. I will not be able to attend because I have a Board of Appeals meeting that night. Obviously, I am not a crucial person to be in attendance, but just so you know, I'll get the minutes from the recording.
Well, I certainly disagree with you not being a crucial part of it, but
So what I'll do is I'll double check the, all the Zoom accounts, and if for some reason it's double booked for Wednesday, I'll shoot you an email, but otherwise, if you don't hear from me, you can assume that I found your spot on Wednesday.
Mike?
Franz, just before I forget, hold that thought.
Well, no, I had a suggestion.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, for Tamika to get her on board, because she is crucial, what about Thursday at 7?
Well, I was gonna ask a similar question. Would.
Well, I was thinking your thoughts, Mike. You and I are a lot alike, even though you don't know it.
Franz, telepathy is incredible. Well, the other thing, Tamika, to look at would be on Wednesday, if we move the time from 7 to whatever, 6, or I don't know, you know.
Well, don't move that based on me. I can do Thursday evening. So that's definitely a possibility. But like I said, don't worry about me. You guys do what works for you. I know everybody said the later time works for them. So Thursday at 7 is fine for me. Otherwise, if Wednesday's better, I'll grab the minutes from the recording. I'll just set it up to record.
How's Thursday at 7 for everybody?
Thursday's good.
I can do
Thursday.
Thursday at 7.
Thursday's fine.
Dave?
Thursday's fine.
Yeah, I have a potential conflict on Wednesday. It's to be determined. There may be a matter I need to discuss with the zoning board of appeals, so I think Thursday would work better.
Okay, all right, let's do Thursday at 7.
Good.
Yeah, Dave, I need you at that zoning board of appeals to get them to change that.
Yeah.
Okay, Thursday at 7, Tamika, could you confirm with me, Tamika, one way or the other, just because
Absolutely.
I got so much going on. If I don't get confirmation, then 2 days from now I'll be wondering.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I'll confirm with you and I'll take care of making sure it gets posted. Do you want me to just automatically include an executive session with the assumption that you'll
Yes.
have that information? Okay.
Yeah. Please.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, folks.
Motion to close?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Tamika.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Bye, guys.